Khaldor, we are ready for qualifier number 2, everybody. The Heroes International European Qualifier. The second one is starting up. So in the first qualifier, we already qualified the first team for the offline event in Miami. Washed Up was able to beat the Bang Bush in the grand final. It was a very, very close match though. And for quite some time, it actually looked like the Bang Bush would be able to go through the loser bracket and yeah, take Washed Up down in the grand final. But then eventually Washed Up on the final map was able to claim victory and get the ticket for Miami. So kudos again to them, great effort. Now we're in the second qualifier. There will be a last chance qualifier after this, but obviously one team is going to qualify through this one as well. If you don't really know what exactly is going on, you can check the link out right over there. So we have an offline event in October in Miami, 14th to 16th, when the teams, when with 3 teams from Europe, 3 teams from North America, and 2 teams from Korea are going to fight it out, and it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Finally, we're going to see the regions clash again, and it's brilliant. Now, once again, quick reminder, if you guys want to support this, if you want to have additional information, if you watch it on YouTube, check out the links that are put into the video descriptions. There is also a crowdfunding where you can support the tournament, you can support the entire thing, so if you like to see more events like this in the future, you can support it right there. It's going to help us to also improve the production just in general, get more casters involved, just up the production level, get a couple more cameras that we can use to get you shots from the venue and so on and so forth. All the players obviously will be also supported to make it to the event. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. Now, we're on the second qualifying. We're obviously in the early round, so this is the best of 3 series that we're entering now. And it's Inting for Ruby against Drastic Measures. And to me, this is honestly an interesting one because Drastic Measures was quite strong in the first qualifier. They went up against Washed Up and they were able to take a map off them, which I found very surprising. So I really want to see what they can pull off in the second qualifier here. And we've already talked a little bit about the favorites in the last qualifier and that we could maybe see even a few surprises here. There were definitely a couple of weaknesses that could be exploited, but now it's map number 1 and, well, the Measures, they go up against Inting for Ruby. We're always good for a cheese or two, as they've proven just recently once again. Uther gets still banned out against Fish, just so you can't use it as the main tank. If you're familiar with Inting for Ruby, then that doesn't really come as a shock to you. We got Brightwing and Genji for Drastic Measures to start things up with. And with Blaze and Hogger, we already have here for Khaldor. Pretty awesome starting map, by the way, Khaldor. But yeah, we have already a lot of control over the camps that they can use now. We got Hanzo, so the Shimada brothers are once again going up against each other. Globals both banned out, Falstad and Dehaka. Now we got a couple more pseudo globals that could technically be played, but so far we're not seeing any of that. And with Murden now banned, they could also of course target the they target Sylvanas here. So no side lane pushing from Sylvanas is happening in this one either. But yeah, pretty excited. Again, I want to see what the red team can pull off. And there's also a pretty good chance that we're going to see them in the last chance qualifier. So yeah, that's also a thing. Like they did well in the last tournament. If they can come in here with a similar performance, then that's going to be the case. Once also, again, just to explain this real quickly, so at the beginning of this tournament there is no losers bracket. So the losers bracket starts once that you make it to the semifinals. So once that we're down to the final 4 teams, there is a losers bracket. So then you have a second chance to go to the grand final and claim victory in the qualifier. But until then, in the earlier rounds, we still have best of 3 matches. But if you lose, then you are out. Sonya and Anubara get taken. Okay, so already a very aggressive draft here from Drastic Measures. With Anubara, Genji and Sonya, they can really drive those battles into the opponent's team. We get Diablo for the Fish, and we have Rega. So even more control over mercenary camps that they now have. And of course in Khaldor, what also always plays a role is how well you can fight around boss pits. Now with the last pick here, could even see a little bit of a hero swap. No Game No Life, always playing quite aggressive heroes traditionally. So what are going to get from him? Abatha! We got the Slug! Game number 1 and we get the Slug right away. Alright, call me a fan. Finally, it's been way too long. So yeah, this is map number 1. Let's go everybody. Let's head straight in. Drastic Measures against Inting for Ruby here at the second qualifier for Europe for the Heroes International in Miami.
Heroes
Inting for Ruby against Drastic Measures, and we have an Abathur game on our hands. On the left side, it's Inting for Ruby in blue, starting with Mindhawk on Hogger. We have Galnegulnar on Rega, Fish on Diablo, Baby Houdini on Blaze, and the Bloodcool is playing Hanzo. On the right side of the map, we get Drastic Measures with a Splice on Sonya. Chia is playing Genji, we got Skynox on Brightwing, Blade on Anubrak, and no game, no life on Abathur. So the slug is back. It's time for some slaps, baby. And on level 1, we're getting the Envenomed Nests immediately. I mean, there's a lot of heroes that can very much so benefit from Abathur, but he doesn't get a lot of attention in competitive play recently. So it's pretty cool to see him in the opening map between the two teams here during the qualifier. And of course, if you have him together with Genji, that is something that can really become a pain in the butt. Then you have Sonya too, so even more survivability for her played correctly. And even just with the Nest build, the rotation between the lanes is always a nuisance when Abathur is doing his job. So right now just slapping it out in the mid lane a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. And of course early on in the game they gotta be a little bit careful here too. You're pretty much playing with 4 buddies on the map instead of 5, and that can become a problem. But they're body blocking Baby Houdini to oblivion. He has absolutely no chance getting out of this one. So an opening kill for Drastic Measures. As I said during the draft, they really impressed in the last qualifier, at least me. And I want to see how far they can go in this tournament. So it's going to be fairly interesting. Second qualifier, there's always a last chance qualifier that we have afterwards. But of course, at the end of the day, you really want to make sure that if there is a chance that you can qualify directly, that you do exactly that. They're already invading here a little bit. It's all about vision with the nests. So they're trying to make sure that they're having as much vision over the map as possible. And always these little ganks that we're already seeing being set up again. So yeah, trying to be aggressive around this and putting the pressure onto Baby Houdini in particular. Hogger obviously doing his thing after they took the Siege Giant camp initially. Is starting to take the Bruiser camp, but they are already here. Yeah, they're playing a very aggressive style, which also creates a bit of extra space for Sonya, who's trying to take those camps too. So at the end of the day, Drastic Measures isn't fully engaging into these fights. They won't heavily commit here. If they can, of course, get the jump on an isolated hero, they're always going to do that. But even just buying a bit of time is going to help them. Time for Sonya to take those camps. Abathur can help out with it. And then they can build on that. And this is exactly what we're seeing. And they're able to get the kill. Abathur coming in together with Genji. We talked about that combo earlier. Unfortunately for them, Skynox is attacked. So Brightwing goes down. But that's one of the cool things that you can do with Abathur. We have seen that in HGC. If you have Brightwing and you get Abathur, you only need a single hero that has mobility to jump on an opponent. Brightwing then portals in, can immediately use the polymorph, and then on top of that you have Abathur, and you essentially turn the fight from a 1v1 into a 1v3. And that's pretty much what they did there. So it's fairly dangerous to go up against that, but at least in that last encounter for Inting for Ruby, it was pretty nice that they got that one kill against Brightwing, so they could at least trade. But now they're losing. Oh, yep, they're still losing it. Diablo goes down. And all of this happening just as we have the first tribute on the map. So yeah, that's a little bit annoying. But you can tell that they're already doing a pretty decent job with the aggression and Inting for Ruby. They gotta find their rhythm a little bit. There are interrupts still happening, so they're buying a bit of time for Diablo to come back. But the second interrupt misses. Mindhawk, on the other hand, is close enough to interrupt Brightwing again and is still able to save himself, and now Diablo is back to business. So Drastic Measures isn't able to pick this one up. And again, as I said before, technically Drastic Measures has now 4 heroes on the map, or 4 bodies, 4 hit point pools in these fights. So it's a bit of an advantage for Inting for Ruby, and if they can pressure this early and take early curses or tributes, they can threaten the early curse against Drastic Measures, or at least around the third one when teams are level 10, try and force them into a fight. But it is the red team that locks in the first tribute, and that is a mad victory for them right now. This early in the game, when Abathur doesn't have his copy yet, to have the tribute, that's actually big. So it's 3 kills to 1, both teams are about to hit level 8. There's a few structures that are being lost here, but very nice play by Drastic Measures, trying to get Abathur to a point where he can have a big impact with his level 10 too. Yeah, Blade for a second stunned into the wall here. But this is pretty awesome. This is looking really nice. The Abathur team is doing a great job. And of course now they also on level 7 got Mule. Abby the only one that still has the ability. Everybody else had it taken away from them. And with that, we still have the aggression there in the middle as Abathur with his body is currently soaking on the side lanes. And is doing as best as he can right there. So, yep. Over we go. A little bit more pressure in the middle. Hanzo barely escaping. That was actually very, very close. Like, he could have fallen there for sure, but he's able to make it out of the fight. Yeah, so no kill. And in the meantime, down to the bottom of the map, Baby Houdini also very conscious that he would have been attacked next. So he's falling back there too. Careful. Can you get anything else here? Nah, not just yet. Alright. But yeah, second tribute is now up and got collected. So that means that Drastic Measures is now the team that threatens the turn-in. And sorry, not the turn-in, the curse, the third one. The completion of our little tribute triumvirate. We have level 10 a bit sooner for Inting for Ruby, but it's not really a gap that can be exploited. Now for Diablo we get in this case actually the Apocalypse. So if they get, I mean, honestly, if you go Apocalypse, I was about to say, like the arrow would make a lot of sense here. If you try to stack some of these stuns. Nice save of Galne Gulnar, having to use the Ancestral on himself. But Hogger, no, he killed the Slugger. Oh, the poor Slug is down, and so is that fort. So Inting for Ruby. They're not cracking under the pressure in the middle of the map, but they are able to take the fort topside down. And they also eliminated Abathur. So, yeah, that one hurts. But, okay, so Fish, he's already starting to hold on the bot lane off against Sonya. But the next tribute is spawning, and again, this one is technically a curse tribute, so if Inting for Ruby isn't able to win this one, they're going to be cursed. Both teams have level 10 abilities, and are holding more or less all of them back. We have, yeah, Genji is going to be ready with his X-Strike, Hanzo's arrow should be up soon. Rega is the only one that's currently struggling, but the team isn't even going for it. So both are going for the bosses, and the tribute is given up by Drastic Measures. They had no intent to really make a move for this one, so instead everybody is just getting the boss. Yeah, we saw that. We did. We saw that Blade. Not dodging out on the roots. So that's an easy boss for both teams. And with that, we're slowly getting ready for the next attack. And in this case, it also means that, of course, these forts are going to be destroyed. And honestly, with Inting for Ruby taking this wall down earlier, they are having a bit of a head start on this one. And as you can tell, they're pushing with the entire team right now, whereas Drastic Measures is leaving the boss up at the top lane all alone, because they're realizing that if it comes to just simply a trade or a rush on both sides, Inting for Ruby would win that pretty aggressively. So now the Ancestral is already out. Sonya making her move back in. Wrath of the Berserker popped. Rega still safe. Short arrow. They try to go for the kill, but they can't get it. Abathur with a copy of Genji comes in, takes Rega down. So one hero already eliminated, and they're trying to make a play for the second kill. Baby Houdini is low, so is Mind Dog. Everybody desperately trying to escape here, but it seems like he actually gets out. Even with the slam attempt from Sonya here, everybody on the blue team is able to make it out of the fight. Only Rega dies. And that boss is still doing some damage down at the bottom of the map, destroying with the help of the minion wave the entire wall. Okay, I mean, that's an F right there. One shot would have been enough to take it down. But the archers decided that's not going to happen. The curse, on the other hand, that one happened, and it was thanks to Abathur, who came in and channeled. So now the blue team under a lot more pressure, since they are going to lose a lot of structures, and especially since they're even losing heroes now with this. So down goes Hogger. We got 5 kills to 2. Abathur is taking position pretty much in the middle of the map, which allows him, of course, also to put these nests out in very aggressive positions. Great for scouting too. It's not only about like doing damage and trying to get some hits in. It's mostly about scouting and getting an idea of where your opponent positions themselves, what moves they're making next, and to slow them down a little bit. So this is looking fairly decent for Drastic Measures. Especially with Abathar side pushing the lanes and helping to make this entire curse even more dangerous to Inting for Ruby. So as it stands, a bit more action in the middle of the map. They haven't really done a lot of structural damage so far though. So I gotta admit, Inting for Ruby is doing a pretty good job defending this. But they will still lose the fort in the middle, I suppose. Yeah, arrow comes out, and with the Apocalypse. Nice combo, and then Hogger comes into, and they might even get a kill out of this. And, well, as it turns out, they don't. But I still like the way that they comboed this off. I mean, this all happened with the fort not doing anything because of the curse. But take another quick look at this. So we're starting things off with the arrow into Apocalypse and then Hogger with the stun. He just couldn't get the kill here. There were a couple of counter stuns also by heroes like Anubarak, and he also used this cocoon. So yeah, this could have worked out a little bit differently, but as it stands, it was still a nice attempt by the blue team to get a kill here. Now, we have 15 to 15, and with all the forts gone on the side of Inting for Ruby, they are falling behind in structures, but not really by too much, because the red team only has a fort in the middle. It's not like they are holding still every single one of them. Splice is trying to time the camp. That's what also the nests are really nice for. So you see if anybody is coming, so no problem for him. He can take all the time in the world and then time this around the tribute. Maybe even, technically I could also time it around bosses if you wanted to. But yeah, the timing is obviously going to be crucial. Now, as all of this happens, they are getting all of the camps at the same time. So they're getting the Siege Giant camp and the other mercenary camp, the Bruiser camp, at the exact same time. Level 16 talents are ready for both teams. That's of course huge for Abathar after Needle Spine right now. He can also give a lot more sustainability to his team by going for the... he actually went for the Envenomed Spine. It goes for the slow instead, so no so much transference here. That would have been taken a little bit earlier either way. But now Hogger is down again. Poor Hogger. Fleabag has been focused a lot. So yeah, they keep going for him. And again, Abathar already used his copy, but it's 6 kills to 2 right now. It's still a game where the blue team can easily recover if they take another good team fight, but you can already tell how all of this is getting fairly dangerous for Inting for Ruby. In Drastic measures, they are the team that is very far out on the map and looking for opportunities here. That includes Abathar. I mean, very aggressive positioning from Abathar. So yeah, he's doing his thing and has to be careful that he doesn't get caught, but he's definitely not just sitting in base here. It means that you have to have a lot of map awareness and need really good calls from the rest of the team too. But here comes the channel, and that's the first tribute in the rotation for the red team. Now bosses are back up again, and I guess both teams will go for it. We already have Inting for Ruby aiming for their bottom boss too. And this one is gonna march straight for the keep. Top one of course too. There's still 2 towers here, so it's a bit of an advantageous position for Inting for Ruby when it comes to these bosses. Would be even better if they could maybe take a couple of these minion waves out. Maybe Rhaegar can do that. Up at the top, there's still Siege Giants and a Catapult, so yeah, this is a little bit annoying. Boss is already moving through, but it's going to take a little bit of damage for that. If he gets stopped in range of the Siege Giants, that would be great, but nope. Just marches easily through. Siege Giants don't get additional hits in. And I was just about to say Genji is dying, but yeah, it was only the Abathar copy. So just trying to trade a bit of damage into all of this. Now, this one needs to be dealt with, but the same is also true for the top, and we're still only 13 minutes into the game. So there will be some damage on the keep, but nothing too crazy. Hogger is in a similar position up here at the top, as you can see right now. So he's just like trying to take this down without losing too many HP on the keep. It is technically, or, well, it could be a curse for the blue team now, with the next tribute spawning. So that's something that the red team has to be aware of. That's a really nice first map. I mean, both teams are kind of playing aggressive when they can, but it's a nice back and forth that we have between the two of them. There's still a half-level lead for Drastic measures, and they have that kill advantage. But it always feels like there's a chance for Inting for Ruby to just come back with one team fight. And if they take this, they can really get momentum going for themselves. Yeah, arrow, Apocalypse, and Anubarak gets wrecked. That was a sexy kill. That was a really, really nice kill. Genji has to X-strike out, and this is exactly what I just talked about half a second ago. That now they have a bit of momentum going for themselves, which they immediately use to take the fort down. And I think it could also easily even stealing the camp away here. Yeah, that's bad for drastic measures. So this could also lead to a curse. Tribute is spawning. But yeah, look at this kill. They went for Blade. And then it was the arrow that completely hits the Apocalypse, the stun from Hoga. And there's just nothing that a Nubara can do in that situation. So he gets taken out. Completely helpless and has to watch all of this. Red team has an early level 20, but that doesn't really help them because they're still waiting for Nubarak to get back into the game. And this is going to be a curse. So, thankfully for them, the bot lane is very heavily pushed out. So it's going to take quite some time for Inting for Ruby to get value here. But it's a bit of a question of what's happening in the mid and the top lane. Now, there's a bit of time that's being bought with level 20, but again, this is happening any second now. There it is. So at this point, it's even talents for the two teams. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they can now do with this. This is the moment where you need to try and get some value. I mean, in an ideal world, you want to have at least a keep. So can they do that? Because they're definitely struggling a little bit, as it seems. And keep in mind, if you don't take a structure down, then Abathur is just going to drop a mule and is going to repair it quickly. And Abathur is already busy in the middle trying to defend here, as the main focus of Inting for Ruby has shifted to the top lane, where they destroyed the wall, and they are now looking for kills so that they can focus down that keep. And the curse is only going strong for another 13 seconds. So right now, things are not really flowing together for Inting for Ruby. But once Abathur's copy is gone, they might be able to make some plays here. Hoga gets the Ancestral. There's again the combo and the kill. Yeah, these arrow combos with the Apocalypse are very, very nice. Another shockwave, another kill. A Nubarak is dead. And that's exactly the kind of play that you have to execute right now if you want to win this game. And start by destroying this particular keep. So yeah, great combo there again. I mean, you see it once more. Arrow, Apocalypse, the kill on Brightwing. After that, Hoga also with a very solid stun that helped. I mean, he hit 3 people with it. And that helped them then to get an additional one. Now with 2 heroes down, they're even thinking about going core. And the question is, can they? It's a bit of a risk because, as I said, damage on the core doesn't mean anything if Abathur can just simply heal it up. So now they're losing not only Diablo but also Hoga, and they might lose more on the retreat. They're overstepping quite a bit here. Baby Houdini is also going to fall, so that's another triple kill for Drastic Measures. Sonya just slamming away at this point, and they gotta get out of there. They got the keep at the top, that's a win, but eventually they need a bit more than that. You always have to calculate, can we take this, yes or no? And they realize we can't end the game. And Abathur is just going to do his thing, and yeah, that's that. Alright, so the only ones that haven't fallen yet are Genji, Sonya, and Hanzo. So some of the damage dealers. 9 kills to 5. Also, thanks to the triple kill there towards the end, which was maybe a little bit unnecessary. But they are going to make a play for the boss now. So, boss is up, and they see an opportunity here. So yeah, good for them. Taking this one away from the opponent also safeguards their bot lane a bit more. Which is also very, very nice. So, can it do more here? I mean, yeah, not right now. We got 1 boss, and I guess they could aim for this. Next tribute is also up, would be the second one for them if they take it. Let's see if they can. I mean, again, you still have that push going. They need to be careful with that top lane a little bit. But it's only like Siege Giants and 1 Catapult. It's the bottom of the map that's really the main focus. And these combos keep hitting. Apocalypse once again, and there's the stun, and that's a double kill. Beautiful plays being made here by the blue team. They're really, really logging these stuns together time and time again. It's not as easy as you might think. We've seen so many of these combos with an arrow into Apocalypse fail in the past, but they're making it work, absolutely. So now they're trying to go for Blade, there's the stun, and damn son, Hanzo really wants him, but 30 hit points. Okay, that's a bit of a meme. I guess he's still going to fall. Not yet. Okay, they know where he is, but I don't think they care too much. Oh, they know where Abathar is, but they want to go for game. So again, this is what led to all of that. The attack that they had here. And that allowed them to go again for an Apocalypse, Shockwave, and Hanzo Arrow combo. Tons and tons of stuns here. And with that now, we got the next play. This time they go for Nuburak. And that should be the end of game number 1. Nicely done. Inting for Ruby with some really nice moves. 9 kills to 9 towards the end of the game. Drastic measures with a good showing too, but the composition just didn't work out well enough in the late game for them. So Inting for Ruby takes the lead. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Tomb of the Spider Queen, the second map in our best of 3 series, here the second qualifier for Europe, for the Heroes International. Drastic measures with a good showing on the first map, but it was Inting for Ruby that locked in the victory towards the end. So now we have them with a 1-0 lead, meaning this is match point. And since there is no losers bracket right now, that would be the end of Drastic measures for the second qualifier. So they are going to be highly motivated to win this. And yeah, it's also an interesting map here. So Tomb of the Spider Queen is always kind of fun. Very different, obviously, from what we just saw on the last one. Much smaller map, not no boss. Well, there's one boss pit. The OG throw pit is still there, but there's definitely a little bit less tactical plays that you can execute around bosses. Kerrigan gets banned, so they're really targeting quite some of the main heroes that were played in the past by Inting for Ruby, but they leave Uther open. So I'm just saying that because, again, Fish loves to play Uther as a main tank and then have a second support. Now you can always make the argument that on Tomb of Spider Queen they maybe shouldn't do it because wave clear is just so important, but we'll see if they actually lock that in some way, shape or form, Uther I mean, or if they're going down a different path, but that double support lineup could work for them. Now, them banning out Mindtalk's Kerrigan is nice, but there's also still Maiev to consider, so another one that could be taken. Hanzo is yapping around with Honor again, and there she is! Maiev instantly getting picked, and Uther as well. So exactly the 2 heroes that I just talked about for them get locked in the first rotation. So yeah, they definitely know. I mean, they're known for stuff like this, and so it doesn't really come to as a big shock here. But to be fair to the ban patterns of Drastic measures, those are also heroes that have been used by the blue team in the past a lot on Tomb of Spider Queen. Now, Blaze and Diablo are both taken immediately, which means that we have a very hit point heavy frontline now for Drastic measures. And you can argue that they already used some Drastic measures in the first game when they drafted Abathar, but now heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen, they might need some Drastic measures to break through that match point. Definitely would not mind that. What are we going to get as the next ban, last ban? Brightwing as a fruit fly. Now we are obviously going to get a second support for Inting for Ruby, like a real support. Uther is doubling as the main tank for the blue team, which immediately begs the question, who is the damage dealer? Now Maiev can obviously pack a punch, but you still want to have a solid range damage dealer that you can work with. There's always the option that they're shifting Uther into the hands of the main tank, but yeah, not really. I mean, it's Inting for Ruby after all, and if they're known for one thing, then it is like this Uther main tank double support style that a lot of other teams in the past have tinkered with. And we had a whole phase for, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, where everybody was kind of doing it, and then it has just fallen off completely, and people are shying away from it. We get Sylvanas and we get Leoric. Okay, so our favorite skeleton is in the house again. Leo is awesome. Like, honestly, like, I mean, one of the games that I loved in my childhood was Diablo 1. And there were 2 bosses that impressed me more than anything else, even more than Diablo himself. And that was the Butcher and that was Leoric. I can still recite pretty much the entire entry monologue of Leoric when you enter his tomb. So yeah, one of those things that just ingrained itself in my head. But I will never forget how I played way too long and I was still a kid and the room was dark, only the screen was like having some light, and then I go for the first time into the butcher's room and all of a sudden there's just like this thing chasing me. Oh, fresh meat. And I must have screamed like a little girl. I was just like, ah! and just running away and just like trying to stay alive. And I still think he hacked me down with like 2 hits. So yeah. Now with Uther as a main tank, you can get away with the Tyrande here. So I actually like that we have Tyrande as the second support. That's a lot of stuns and also the Hunter's Mark. We get Anduin on the other side and Lunara. But yeah, 2 with Spider Queen, everybody. So second map, first match point. Inting for Ruby has the lead. Let's go. Second game of the series, Inting for Ruby with Mind Talk on Maiev, Blood Cool on Sylvanas. We got Baby Houdini and Leoric. Fish on Uther and Galnagulnar with Tyrande. Now again, Tyrande is most of the time a bit of a liability simply because she's easily focused and taken down, but if you have a second support together with her, you can obviously mitigate some of the weaknesses that she has. And she can really shine. The problem is just that if you fall behind and she gets targeted a lot, then you easily end up in trouble. But right now, this could work out for them. Drastic Measures is playing Lunara with No Game No Life. We got Splice on Blaze, Shia on Hanzo, Blade on Diablo, and Skynox is playing the Crybaby. So, off we go. We got the Lunar Blaze on level 1. I mean, Tyrande can do a couple of things. First of all, scouting is obviously very nice with the Owl. You can on a lot of channel maps also interrupt your opponent if you place them well. You have the Hunter's Mark to take a target down quickly. And in addition to that, it's just like the stuns and the sustain that you provide the team with. But that comes at a cost. She's been a very, very important pick in the past. Especially around the Celestial Attunement. There were so many talents that Blizzard shifted around, and before they did, she was just a must pick or ban in so many games. But she's really, really fallen off since then. But if you can get those stuns chained and then also apply the Hunter's Mark, she can very much help you to burn a target down. And that's of course a bit of an idea of what they are going to do here. So, yeah, time will tell. But still, we don't see a lot of Tyrande these days for the reason mentioned. She has fallen off significantly. But usually games where she is played can be kind of exciting. Now, we already have them going for the next camp down here. Owl is being sent across the map, but it also reveals the position a little bit. They're, of course, trying to slow all of that down, but the fish goes down. So they're trading. They're trading the death of Uther for those Siege Giants. I mean, I call that a win. Uther is still ghosting around a little bit, but yeah, so they got the additional camp. Hasn't lost any... Yeah, hasn't lost any gems, I think. But yeah. Can get the easy stuns out, and Galnagulnar needs to very much watch his positioning too. Now, there aren't really any heroes on the other side that threaten him too much. If there was a Genji, for example, that would be a bit of a different story. If there's a Tracer, then as well. Now, there's always heroes that can dive in with their mobility. Mobility creep in the game in general has made it so that a lot of the heroes that were a big part in the meta in the early days of Heroes of the Storm have slowly started to fall because they are just very weak. Uther dies again. Good examples would be Kel'Thas and yeah, mages just in general, I would say. There's just too many very agile heroes that have very good game gap closers. And if you don't have a hero that has an escape tool available to himself, then it's oftentimes tricky to keep them alive in the long run. So that's one of the reasons why we see certain mages very rarely these days. Now they pop up every now and then, but compared to the glory of the days in the past, yeah, it's a little bit of a shame. Now either way, it's a coming. Blue team is still trying to push us a bit. Now keep in mind, if they win this one, then they move on to the next round of the tournament. Oh, nice tether. Maiev, always a beast, but here comes Blaze. Nice stun, and Baby Houdini is going for a bit of a disappearing act. 1 second he's here, and the second he activates a straight. So, yep, Leo is already ghosting around. That allows for a turn-in over here. And that's 23 to 14 gems turned in by the respective teams. Okay, 3 kills to 0. So for Drastic Measures, things so far are looking pretty good. Then again, on the last map, they also were in a position where they had the better kill count. But there's the counter kill on Blaze. So finally, with Uther and those stuns, they were able to get one. Try to go for Anduin. The tether on Lunara. Bambi, careful. Lunara hops out quickly. Leo also needed to ghost back out. There's even an advantage now for Drastic Measures with the gem count. They turned already 30 in. Both of them have pretty much enough gems to get the first turn in here. So, yeah, could work. I mean, not quite. Inting for Ruby, they lost a couple of gems now. So yeah, they had to sacrifice a few. They're still trying. They're still looking for an additional kill. They go for dibbles once more. Mind Talk not hit over here. The money pick riding into battle in style. That's exactly how you need to do that. Blaze is still at the bottom of the map, but if Inting for Ruby wants to prevent that turn-in, then they have to be diligent here. And they also need somebody to deal with Blaze at the bot lane. He's all alone right now. And he is going to abuse that completely. I mean, look at it. He's already taken the tower down, he's dropping the gate. Side gate is gone, so he's very happy about what's going on here. Just sitting tight and capitalizing on being alone on the lane for a while. Another double stun. Diablo coming in. They want to kill on Mind Talk, but the tether as they're turning it, and Hanzo is the first one to fall. And Bambi nearly died as well. Oh, Mind Talk! Yeah, he dove deep for this one. Nearly died now to Lunara. Oh my god, Diablo with a save. That would have been the end of No Game No Life if the maze would have hit the face. So now they are turning in, and I think they're gonna get the Web Beaver wave. But this could have been so much worse for Drastic measures. So much worse. If one or two of those heroes fall, then it's a completely different story. But yes, as it stands now, here comes the play through the top lane. As they're trying to ensure that they're pushing those towers down as much as they can. And Bambi dies! Bambi dies at the bot lane, so that's nice meat for the barbecue. Okay, so seems like Inting for Ruby is going shopping. They got a big Barbie planned, and they still needed something to throw in the grill. And with that, we now have level 10 talents coming up. I mean, this got real bad for Drastic measures now. I was just hailing a second ago how well they done to keep her alive, so that they can properly defend. But now one of the main tools to defend this is gone. With Sylvanas, that push is going to be really annoying in the first place. And then you have also Inting for Ruby with level 10 abilities in a tiny window that they could use and that they are trying to use now against Blaze. So Splice is barely able to get away. But since they're just all running, they just can't do anything. I mean, look at the mid lane. The fort is already gone. And at the bottom of the map, they're now pulling the exact same moves. So they're taking 2 forts down with the first one. Nice arrow, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah, Tyrande, they were trying to go for her, but she just moved out. So 2 forts are eliminated with the first Web Beaver wave. And that's a massive win. That's a huge win for them right now. Yeah. 3 kills on each side, 23,000 damage for Lunara. And Kamsach is simply getting attacked. Sylvanas is again doing that side lane push thingy. They don't have any vision. If they would have known that everybody else at the bot lane going for the Siege Giant camp, she would have definitely taken the opportunity to do more damage through the wall. But either way, it was already enough, and it forced Lunara to move towards the top. The fight down here, she's currently missing. Drastic Measures is trying to turn in, and they really have to. They can't afford to be pushed further back, but they've already lost 2 of their forts, so that makes things a bit tricky down here. Yeah, and they're getting pushed back again. Trying to do their thing. Looking for some stun combos. Initiated by Blaze, for example, but there's the Entomb. Yeah, Tyrande's ult immediately used. Divine Shield, nice arrow in the back line. And the kill against Blaze. And it seems like Baby Houdini is done for now. He dies too. Big barbecue play. Great job by Diablo. He gets the kill on Sylvanas, and then Uther also falls. Is the heal coming through? Nope, not even that's happening. So it's an easy quad kill now for Drastic Measures, and that gives them tons and tons of momentum here that they are utilizing to get the turn in. And of course, that's now a fort falling at the... Actually, I'm going to save this for now. Not quite sure if Leo is going to be able to defeat the Web Weaver. If somebody is rotating down here from Drastic Measures, then they should at least get this one. But they are obviously hoping for a little bit more. And they're also getting their level 13 talents in a moment and a half. So things are looking all of a sudden much better for the red team. They were really pressured by that last turn in of Inting for Ruby. And things started to become a bit dicey. But that fight was just turned so well by the red team that they are now fully running that momentum train. A nice move by Baby Houdini, just making sure that he takes all of those minion waves out. Arrow comes in, Splice is alive, and they just can't get that kill. The disc is in the Entomb attempt by Baby Houdini, but Blaze is still in play, and Anduin is just pulling everybody back. Top fort has fallen, bottom fort will fall too. Or will it? Maybe they can snap. Maybe? Actually, they can save this one. Yeah, good job. So they're saving the fort at the bot lane. Or Baby Houdini can. He needs to take that minion wave down too. And he deals with it right now. But it's actually not too bad. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of hit points left, but at least for the time being, there's no catapults pushing for drastic measures, and I guess that's a win. Enough turn-ins, enough gems for second turning for drastic measures. That's the problem for Inting for Ruby. They haven't done enough in the kill department, so they haven't removed any gems yet, or at least not enough. There's still a couple of camps up that the teams can go for and are going for right away. But this is starting to become more and more interesting. I like this series. The first game was already a nice back and forth. Eventually ending for Ruby with a victory. Now in the second one you can really tell that both of them are heavily fighting to stay in the tournament here and get past the first round. 51 gems have already been turned in. They need another one. Need to collect one more and then they have enough to finish it. And they got it now. Can they get control of the turning point though? That's the big question. Spice getting attacked. Blade, careful. Yeah, gets interrupted. And the focus on Leo. Goodbye, my friend. Nice dodge on the arrow. So that's actually not too bad. The blue web weavers are coming down. They traded Leoric. This is exactly the hero that you want to trade. He's going to spawn on site. But drastic measures, they see that they have a window. As long as they don't get any kills, it would be okay for Inting, but they're losing their fort in the middle, and that's a bit annoying. But they're already trying to turn it here, and Leo's going to be back in another couple of seconds. Bunker has been forced out. They're going for Sky Nox. He's a bit low, but so is Sylvanas. So is Uther. Uther is dead already. Sylvanas dove in deep, and they killed Anduin, and they killed Lunara. And somehow Sylvanas is still alive. How the fuck is she still in play? Great moves by Tyrande, and now with the Entomb. Did you see that? They came in and they got the kill here. Diablo is dead as well. What the hell just happened? They're getting the entire team. That's all of their gems gone, everybody. 24 more gems are now falling, and that is a nightmare for drastic measures. A full 5-man wipe, and that was brutal. Look at this Entomb that's being dropped in a second. There's the Entomb, and then Meinhard says, well, don't mind me. I'm gonna get that kill. Thanks, bro. Beauty of an Entomb. They got an entire level lead right now, and oh my god, Inting for Ruby with some sexy plays. And I still can't believe that Sylvanas didn't fall. Tyrande keeping her in play time and time again. I mean, she had no hit points, and now the bottom keep, they need to get this one. I mean, come on, guys, you're not really letting the keep survive with like this little hit points, right? Just YOLO somebody in, especially now that Blaze is showing topside. Trying to save this one. Just a little bit of range poke in your Gucci. But they're not making the play. No, they're hesitating. They don't want to risk anything here. Don't want to lose anyone. They had a chance earlier to push for it a bit harder and take it down. But now Leo is dead. The arrow gets dodged. Uther eats it. But he still should be fine. Gets slowed a bit. Yeah, and here comes the light bomb. The fish in trouble, and the fish is dead again. Detecting a bit of a theme here. Uther falling for the 5th time now. And Lunara alive, and Diablo is just burning everybody to a crisp. So yeah, this is a little bit of a seesaw that we're seeing here. 13 kills to 9. Now the big problem for drastic measures is that they lost every single gem in the last encounter. That's the biggest problem. Every hero died, all the gems were lost, and they had a lot of them. But now they can go for the boss. So Inting for Ruby, they haven't really gotten as much out of that last push as you might have thought. That this keep is still here, that's a bit of a meme. I mean, if you're already losing this many heroes on the retreat, then you might as well just go full Sudoku and sacrifice one of them to take the structure down, but that didn't happen. And initially they could have pretty much just pushed a little bit harder. I think they had vision in the mid and the top lane of 2 heroes, and then just take it quickly and then try and retreat. But as it stands, it's still 18.5 versus 18.5. and the battle continues. So the boss has been taken. Shouldn't be able to do a whole lot of damage. They will easily take it down. The red team will likely try and go down to the bottom of the map and get the fort destroyed, but they're also working on a turn-in, and they should be able to get this one. That will push a lot of the lanes out, so that's a big win for them, giving them a little bit more breathing room. And yeah, here we are. 13-9. Yeah, unfortunately, can't damage structures with the owl. That would be kind of neat. If that was possible, that would be pretty funny. Doesn't work that way. So it's level 20 that both of the teams are now working on. Big upgrades coming. I mean, the Entomb upgrade alone is going to be fantastic. Tyrande with the Celestial Attunement and the Ranger's Mark. Yeah, the Owls, they keep coming. always down here to the bot lane. I'm talking about the bot lane. Leo is ghosting away. They want him, and they're likely going to get him. Yep, goodbye. Leo is gone, and that is unfortunate timing. Let's just call it that. It's going to be 20 versus 20. Leo obviously is going to be back pretty quickly. As long as he hits those drains, he's going to reduce the death time a bit. And he's going to spawn on side. But still, that's an unfortunate timing to lose your side laner. So there's the level 20 for the blue team. Still got an opportunity here to save their mid-key, but it's a bit of a meme considering how this all started up, that it could be now the red team that gets the first keep destroyed of this game. But they're a little bit in trouble here. The arrow comes out, Mindtalk dodges it, the back is being hit hard, and that is Uther dead again. But Uther has redemption, so he's gonna be back. Mindtalk, the Entomb! Triple Entomb! And they're getting a triple kill. Nice! Well done. And even another one. Guys, 4 heroes down. Diablo is back since he had all of his souls, but that looks like it. I mean, this is at least keep if they can't end the game here. So, big hit. I mean, look at that beautiful Entomb that we just got there. And that turned the entire fight. Initially, it really felt that the red team might get the win here, at least in the team fight, but it just barely didn't work out for them. Now, they might get the kill on Hanzo. The arrow the sun a little bit too late, but the core is wide open, and there's nothing that Dibbles can do about that. Fantastic play once again by Inting for Ruby. A nice back and forth series, but it looks like it's going to be a 2-0 victory in favor of Inting for Ruby, which means they are moving on to the next round of the tournament where they will face off against the Bangbush. Nicely done, well played, and GG Inting for Ruby with a 2-0 victory.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.